I just want to take a little moment, as this is a bill that I've worked on in planning and development as well for 3 years, to sort of refocus the discussion back to the bill itself and how we got here with a wonderful bipartisan amendment that is on this bill for the trigger, which we actually worked with the minority leader extensively on that amendment to make this bill work. And there were a lot of things today that I think maybe got us a little confused, even the comment that I heard about databases, like databases are not included in this. So I just want to kind of sum up where we are. You know, every year the librarians have come to us for even much longer than I've been planning and development chair, and they've said to us, this year alone, more than 80 plus librarians who are leading their town's libraries have said to us, we cannot continue to pay as much as we are paying for these ebooks for as little as we are getting in return. Because remember, they're getting 26 uses or 2 years. So that means the book goes out 26 times, or after 2 years, the book is used up and they're not going to be able to loan that out further. And that's really a critical problem for libraries that look to build collections. With traditional books, they've always been able to build collections, but now they're in a situation where they just can't do that. And these are taxpayer dollars. In fact, it's more than $6.5 million taxpayer dollars per year just in these libraries, and that does not include our higher education institution libraries. It also does not include our schools. So $6.5 million of taxpayer dollars are going towards these books that literally disappear as if Harry Potter waved his wand and vamoosed them right out of the library. It's really hard for our seniors and for our teenagers the most, because those are probably the two largest groups that utilize our libraries. Teenagers, you know, they might find a book that's a second in the series, they want to go back, they want to read the first book, but unfortunately, because other teenagers discovered that book before them, those 26 uses are gone. And the library is not likely to repurchase those books because of this fee, because of the way this fee structure is set up. I'd also say the librarians have already worked as a consortium to try to get the publishers and Overdrive to the table in order to make sure that they get better terms. I have met with some of the same groups in pursuit of this bill. They refuse to come to the table to negotiate. So I'm not sure that the free market is really working as it should in this case, because there is no one to negotiate with. I think about when we buy, you know, some of our towns in the Farmington Valley get together to buy chemicals for the road, or they might buy a police dispatch unit for, you know, to go in on those units together. This is not dissimilar from that. And again, it's taxpayer dollars. So I think that the amount that we talk about taxpayer dollars and trying to save that money in this chamber, I think that's part of the reason why this is so important. I would also say, you know, we've heard a little bit that this legislation hurts authors. There is software that protects those authors from their books being stolen, reproduced, etc. I will say, though, publishers, there was a challenge there with AI, because many books have been used to train AI without the author's permission. So nothing is perfect, but we are getting there. And in terms of what the authors are paid, many people don't realize that the authors are getting basically 25% or less of these ebook receipts. They used to get 50%, but they're now having to sell more books so they can actually get to the amount that they were at previously, while the ebook industry is over $18 billion this year alone. So I think that it's
Representatives, getting kind of loud in here, and we're getting towards the end of the day, so if we just can take our conversations outside, really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Representative Kavros, DeGraw.
And I promise I am almost finished.
Okay.
I would also say we heard a lot today about what are other states doing, and I know it's scary that we will probably be the first to pass this today, but there are other states on track because of how we have worked with, like I said earlier, the Harvard librarian, that we are on track to have New Jersey run this bill. Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Tennessee, and Hawaii all have similar bills. So we even heard today, we received text that librarians from Maryland to Massachusetts have their eye on our chamber because of how critically important this is to the future of libraries and to the future of access to books for librarian patrons. Killingly, Darien, Preston, Bethany, Middlefield, and so many more towns reached out to us and said, either signed the letter or emailed us individually to say, we really want this bill. Our taxpayers are crying out to us as well, because I've heard from individual patrons, even though some of my colleagues have not. And I know it's scary to be first, but we're going to be first because this is the right thing to do. I urge my colleagues to support this bill, and I'm grateful that they sat here through the debate all day today.